What's up YouTube, it's GhostRider15 here, back at it again with another GOAT format video. And today's video is going to be a top 8 deck list review video of the most recent list at top of the Patreon World Championship qualifier. There was a lot of duelists for this event, about 70 or so players, all really good. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Alright, so first we have top 8. John Wick making top 8 with Chaos Turbo. So pretty standard list. The only thing that I really think stands out is the triple shoot. Not everybody likes 3. There's a disagreement on how many should be mained, but he went with 3 and seemed to work out for him. Another interesting thing that he decided to do is main deck MST, because I know some turbo players don't do that. And he went with both Mirror Force and Torrential. Some players do one or the other. But yeah, besides that, pretty standard main deck. As for the side deck, he has a lot of interesting stuff here. Cypher Soldiers, some Tigers, Kaikus, and Byras, Minecon, Walk, Sword, Ceasefire, Magic Cylinder, now that's spicy. 2 Sakus and 2 Solemns. So yeah, he has a lot of stuff for the burn matchup, and not too heavy on the warrior matchup. I'd be a little concerned about that, but he seems to have a lot for the other matchups. So yeah, pretty good list. Alright, next up, also coming in at top 8 is Shogun Lopez with Chaos Warriors. So Chaos Warriors is basically warriors with Chaos Sorcerers in the main. This list is pretty interesting. I know it's been getting more popular lately. I remember it won the GFC by Pikatron, and ever since then, it's just being seen more and more play. And yeah, sometimes it's really hard to side deck against this deck because you don't know if they're gonna like main deck a bunch of flip monsters or not. So it's really hard to decide on how to side for this matchup. And yeah, it looks pretty standard. I don't know if I agree with the double Book of Moon, but yeah, he made top 8, so it worked out for him. In his side, he has 2 Cypher Soldiers. He has the Cliff, King Tiger, Tribes, and Byra, Minecons, Dust Tornado, Saku, and the 3 Trap Dust Shoots. So he opted to side the Dust Shoots instead of maining them. Interesting choice. You know, Dust Shoot is mostly for Chaos Turbo, so in a diverse meta, it makes a lot of sense to side him instead of main. But yeah, congrats to Shogun Lopez for the top 8. Next up, also making top 8 is Kit. So Kit played some warrior like Cyberstein build, which is really interesting. You don't really see this too often. I know that Cyberstein has like slowly been increasing in popularity, like outside of just like standard Steingate, because before it was just like Steingate that was playing Cyberstein, but nowadays other decks like Warrior are actually playing Cyberstein too. It's pretty interesting. He's got the main deck Minecon, the pre-side for the Mirror, or for the Chaos matchup. Last Will to bring out the Cyberstein and go off. Triple Shoot for the Chaos Turbo matchup. Giant Trune to go off. Pretty good list. Side deck is interesting. It looks like he smokescreens into like some sort of warrior control deck or something with the Kree in the side. I'm curious to see like what his siding patterns would be for this. But yeah, interesting list. Next up, also coming in at top 8, we have Bobby Bodega. He played Chaos Turbo. Pretty standard list, except the only thing that stands out to me is he's playing Phoenix Windblast instead of Regeki Break. From what I know is most people play Regeki Break nowadays, but seeing Windblast in the main deck is interesting because it is very strong in simplified game states, where your opponent is bricking and you just want to put their brick back to the top of the deck. It's also really good to keep their light and darks out of the grave in the mirror match. So yeah, I guess he just was prepared a lot before the mirror. And then for his side, pretty interesting side. He's got the one Kaiku for like the mirror match in Earth aggro, the three Zambiras for warrior, Karti for decks that are not the mirror, two walk and two Minecon. Walk is for burn, Minecon's for the mirror. One Rhoda. That's interesting. I guess that's to search for Zambira, because that's like the only warrior here. One swords for warrior and earth aggro. One Regeki break for like the mirror or burn, and then the three Sakus for earth aggro and warrior. Alright, next up, moving on to top 4, we have Insidious. Insidious has been very consistent lately, and he made top 4 with Chaos Turbo. His list is slightly standard, but there are a lot of interesting choices that not many people play. For example, the big one that stands out is Ceasefire. That doesn't see too much play, but he's been liking it lately. It's pretty good to stop like flip effects, and sometimes you just need that extra burn damage to win the game. So yeah, I can see why he likes it. He's got the Cardi in the main. Can be very strong sometimes. I'm personally not a big fan, but when it goes off, like with double Night Assailant. He's also playing the one Book of Moon, which not many people play these days, but it has some really good uses with recycling flips and protecting your chaos monsters. And only one shoot in the main, which makes sense because, you know, in a diverse meta, you don't really want triple shoot because you don't really know if you're going to play against like Chaos Turbo all the time. As for the side, one Kaiku, two Zambiras, two walks, or two Minecons, one walk, one swords, one Dust Tornado, Regeki Break, three Saku, Torrential, and two Trap Dust Shoots. He doesn't have too much for the burn matchup. He only has the one walk, but I guess he also has like Dust Tornado and Regeki Break, so yeah, good enough. Anyways, on to the next list. Top 4 Ale 1997 with the Chaos Turbo. Similar to Bobby Bodega, he's playing two Wind Blasts. Looks like he's playing the exact same list as him. Interesting. So they probably like theoried together and made their list together because it's the exact same list. But the side deck's different. The side deck has the control package, which I know Ali's a big fan of. He likes playing the control stuff for like the warrior matchup. He's got the Cardi in the side for like non-mirror matches. Zambira for warrior and earth aggro. Same with swords and same with Saku. Pretty good list. Alright, now moving on to second place, Scrub for Life. Scrub for Life played warrior. So he only played two Blade Knights, which is interesting. Whenever I play warrior, I really like 3, but he's a much more experienced warrior player than I am. So maybe 2 is the way to go. I'm also not a big fan of the Magician of Faith in the main because I feel like Warrior's biggest strength is not losing to Nobleman. So yeah, I would play the list without them off, but you know, he's the one that made it this far with Warrior, not me. And then he plays the one Reaper, which is interesting. That's usually sided, but he decided to main it. I guess it can be very strong in the mirror match. But yeah, everything else looks pretty standard. As for the side, he played, I forgot this monster's name, but what it does is you tribute 2 monsters to inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. It can be very good against burn to tribute their tokens. He played two Zambiras or two Zambiras and two Azuras. Azuras for like the control matchups. Zambira for the mirror and Earth aggro. Same with Cypher Soldier. Cliff for like any Royal Decree deck or burn. Morphine Jar just because it catches people by surprise and people side out their knocks. The one book, which I'm assuming is for control. Two Smashings for the mirror. One dust for like burn or the mirror. 7 tools for any trap heavy deck. One widespread for like the mirror or Earth aggro. And then the Zing Zing Hu for like any deck that sets a bunch. Alright. So moving on to first place, Michel Semino. He played Chaos Turbo. And this list is interesting because he's main decking the Minecon in the book. The Minecon, very, very strong against other flip monsters in the mirror match. You just have to be careful how you use it. Book of Moon, like I mentioned earlier, can be very versatile. 3 jars. I'm a big fan of 3 jars. I just like the consistency it has. Same with 3 Regeki breaks. I like how versatile 3 Regeki breaks are because they're good in just about every matchup. As for his side deck, he played 1 Kaiku, 2 Zambiras, 2 Metas. He's playing the Goats, so he's playing the control package, which I'm assuming is for the Warrior matchup. Only 1 Minecon because he main decks the other copy. MST for like burn or Creed decks. 2 Sakus for aggro decks, and then the 3 shoots for the mirror. Yeah, pretty interesting lists. Congrats to all the players that made top 8, and congrats to Michel Semino and Scrub for Life for getting their invites to the World Championship qualifier. And yeah, hopefully we get more players joining the next Patreon to have the biggest Patreon that we've ever had. Maybe we can break the record and get like 80 or even 90. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. That's pretty much all I have for you guys. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. This is Ghostwriter15 signing out.